What the fuck is up, Morgrot Universe? Man, it seems like forever since I got to bring out my inner devil. Feels good to put the makeup on this evening for y'all, and definitely got a killer show for you tonight. This young man is by far a very, very up and coming artist in the underground. Has some art in Morgrot magazine, as well as a bunch of his own creations. And we're going to just talk about all the stuff that he's been working on, the projects, what he's got coming up, and how you can get some. But before we get into all this bullshit, we're going to quickly take a quick commercial break to our brothers over at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check it out. That's right. Villain Arts Tattoo Convention, largest in the United States, largest in the world. Not just tattoos, but great performance art and all the cool little vendors that also come along with it, such as myself. Because guess what? Coming next month in Chicago, Reaper is coming for you. All righty. So, my guest this evening, Cody Gray of Defiler of the Crown Art. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Fantastic, I must say. So, once upon a blue moon, I ended up at a festival called the Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival. And this was last year. And this is the very first time that I met you there. Hadn't talked to you before or anything like that, but I was like, this guy's cool as fuck.
Thank you.
I was like, and he wants me to sign his copy. And I'm just like, oh, well, I didn't even know.
Yeah, that edition of Morgrot, that kind of got a lot of things flowing.
Yeah. It was definitely an honor and a privilege to be on the cover and to have that interview along such great bands and the amazing fucking art, which is what drew me to Morgrot magazine in the first place. Before I get to that real quick, hello, Shadow Seeker. Good evening, Paul. Let's see here. And, that's right. Paul, if you're, that's right. You are in the Illinois area. So yeah, come see me at the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention. I'll give you all the info on that later. But yes, the great, dark, luscious, satanic art that adorns each of these amazing magazines. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to be a part of this. It's like my little inner Satan was like, let's do this shit. So, and that brought me to meeting you. And ever since, man, you've just been absolutely knocking it out of the park
Thank you.
with your art. And I want to make sure I get this up on screen real quick. Come on. There it is. Your official logo, which is now on all of your art, as well as new t-shirts. And we will tell you how you can get your hands on one of those, people out there in Morgrot Universe. If you don't have one yet, you will have a chance to get some. So tell me the story. How did this kind of come to be for you as far as getting into art? And just, yeah, we'll start there.
I grew up in this backwoods ass county in Tennessee called Lake County, and there's really not much here. As a kid, there was not shit for kids here. Do what?
I said lots of trees.
There's a lot of trees and a lot of farmland. That's about it. There's a lake, and it's nice to look at, but hell, you can only do so much with that growing up here. And
For sure.
I was introduced to like 80s hair metal when I was a kid early on by my parents. My mom got me into it. My dad actually gave me my first records. It was Kiss Alive and
Nice.
Meatloaf's Bad Out of Hell. And that
Hell
album
yeah.
that
What's
album
up,
cover
Johnny?
that album cover kind of sparked my interest in things.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, I just kind of went from there. And I was raised around hot rods and customized cars. And when I got to be a teenager, Jesse James blew up from West Coast Choppers, and he put demons and skulls, flames, bones, all kinds of shit all over. And I was into music, but I could never make myself sit down and actually play a guitar or anything to learn. So I just started doing art. And then fast forward until it's probably been, I don't know, it was late in the middle of last year. I did some kind of drawing, and to be honest with you, the drawing I did and posted, I didn't even like the thing. And John, I posted it, and then most time if I put color in something, I'm not happy with it after I do it because I'll think of 10 million different ways I could have colored it. And John clicked like on it, and John liked it, and I sent him a message and said, man, if I ever post anything that you'd like to use, John from Morgrot.
Yep.
I said, if I ever post anything you'd like to use, just send me a message when we can do it. He said, well, how about this? He said, how about you draw the cover and 6 pages inside issue 8? And then everything is just snowballed, and that's where we're at now.
Fantastic. What's up, Mouse Bong? And Kyler, I see every one of the addicts of the damned have showed up this evening.
That was such fun to do. I looked at my old lady and said, hell, I think he was just bullshitting, but I'm just going to go ahead and let's see what I can come up with. And that's what just happened.
I totally wasn't bullshitting, though. That's the funny part. It's like I'll always say something in a funny way just to see if anyone says anything, just to get a reaction. Because I was like, dude, that's it. That's like a t-shirt. We should fucking do that. And I mean, lo and behold,
it happened. I remember Addicts of the Damned to talk about a demon with needles stuck in its arm. That's just where it come from. I kind of just snowballed with the shit. Like I did most time I do traditional art. I'll use like pen, pencil, ink, brushes, micron pens, all that type shit. But I have a pad that hooks to my computer, and I use a program on there. And I said, well, I'm gonna do it digitally. I think it'll turn out a little bit better on there. And I just sketched some shit out and just started adding like black ink and everything, and that's what it come up with. So,
well, and I believe my reaction when you sent it to me was like, "Yep, you nailed it." We're gonna have that up here for you momentarily out there. There it is. Bam. So, I mean, we're a rowdy bunch as is. So I think that just kind of, encompasses a little bit of that flavor.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Like I said the other night, like a big group chat with everybody, I think we'd end up laughing our asses off more than anything in that shit.
Absolutely. So, and we'll talk about that shirt later
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
have an update on that.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
and yeah, so we'll definitely bring that up later. So another one of my biggest thoughts, because obviously you can see I am very
Tattoo.
colorful, lots of
Mhm.
designs, but damn it, I can't draw for shit. No matter how I visualize it, no matter how patient I am or how detailed. The only thing that I've ever been able to do as an artist is paint.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird for me. I don't know. So you do both, which is pen to paper or pencil to paper
yeah.
and digital. So my question there is, which one do you prefer, or which one do you think is better?
My traditional style by far. Like when I use pen, paper, ink, because that's what I'm so used to. That's what I've always done. Hell, my dad, drawing pads are expensive, and instead of buying that, he'd buy me thick packs of like computer paper.
Right.
And to being a kid drawing, you're gonna waste the hell out of the paper. You can plan a whole damn forest by the time you get done, and that's what he
That
did,
is
and that's
so
what I
damn
drew on
true.
forever. And then when I got older, I found like different type paper like Bristol board and multimedia and all that. I like drawing on Strathmore brands smooth Bristol boards. It's just it erases easy if you screw up. It don't leave a hard line, and to me, that's my comfort zone. Digital is me pushing myself outside of it.
Mm. I
And
mean, I'm
that's
sure just the mere feeling feels different,
yeah, because
when you're
it's
using paper versus a screen.
yeah, because this is what my digital thing is. It's just a smooth piece of
Wow.
plastic and has a pen with a nib on it, and it's just all plastic. And like it has a totally different feeling. You gotta trick yourself to think you're actually because you're drawing and pulling a pencil or a pen across the paper, you're gonna feel the grain of it. This you just feel pretty much nothing. So
Right. And it's like super, like, I don't know, what would you call it? Slick
it's
or
slick and there's like
seamless.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to it. And instead of looking down, drawing, and everything you're doing is here, you're having to look up, face forward, and just move your hand and focus here. It takes some getting used to. It's definitely different.
That's some serious fucking talent, man. Kyler says I can only draw masks really well.
Hey, everybody's got their own thing, man. If it's something that you do and you enjoy it, fuck what everybody else thinks. If it's art and you think it's art, hell, there's people that throw damn mop brushes at canvases and get paid thousands of dollars for it, and I don't see the point in it. But
Oh man,
it's
don't get me
talentless.
fucking started. Oh, it's a statement, they say. Oh, it's creating the emotion of suffering. Well, I mean, so if I fucking puke up my bourbon on a fucking canvas, am I going to get paid $10 million? Hell no.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some like really talented people out there that do shit like it, and
For
then,
sure.
but I mean, I've seen people that take and they draw. They actually do art with their own damn blood and stuff like that. So I mean,
Now
there's
that
talented
shit's
people.
really interesting.
It's interesting. It's kind of extreme, but hell, everybody in metal is extreme. So why not? You know what I mean?
Very, very, very much so. I mean, you better have some fucking sugar cookies and some OJ sitting next to you if you're going to be fucking blooding it out.
For sure. I don't. I think it was a thing. It started with Kiss with their first comic book. They put their drops of blood in there, and I think people just snowballed on that shit.
Yeah, I think that at that point, that is when they officially sold their souls to be
Oh yeah,
assholes.
yeah.
Uh, what other fucking metal band do you know that can continue on well after they're fucking ground up into dust
Yeah.
and be able to tour with AI technology? That's just true narcissism at its best, if you ask me. Not
Yeah, I
even the
agree.
Beatles or the Stones did that shit.
No, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like that was Kiss was really my introduction to things. So they kind of have like I don't want to say
I
a
feel
soft
it.
spot because not in metals. There's nothing soft, but it's just they're always my refer back to band. And
I feel that.
I was kind of excited for it because I have their comic books. I love their comics and all that shit. But I don't
Well, the
know. It
comics
just
are
didn't.
better.
Yeah, it just didn't feel. It didn't feel like it's something they should just carry on and make people pay an ass load of money to see in a concert because it's not a real concert. I mean,
No,
it's a damn video.
don't doesn't all their kids like have massive trust funds anyway?
Oh yeah,
Every
it's
last one.
I watched bits and pieces of that farewell concert they did, and you can actually tell that Paul Stanley's deaf in one ear.
Oh,
He's literally, I think
oh, I
his
didn't
left
know
ear.
that.
He's actually
Wow,
deaf in one ear, and you can tell that it's starting to. And I think that's the reason he's having to use that backmasking type shit because he's getting to that point that his other. I mean,
it's
it's
hard to
fucking
sing.
loud. You doing shit loud for 50 fucking years. That other earring's gonna go bad eventually.
And then there's Lemmy.
Lemmy was just a special breed on his fucking own, man.
you, you goddamn right. That's why
That
Lemmy.
damn that damn Rickenbacker bass he made, people didn't
Woo!
think that shit could make that type of sound, but it did.
Oh, he made that shit rumble like fucking nobody else
And
could, man.
it didn't even sound like a damn bass, to be honest with you. It
Well,
just had
no.
its own. It just had its own sound.
Damn, Skippy. Let's see here. Mousebong says nothing beats a good old pen and ink for me. Let's see. Johnny Harley says I'm drawing my comic series as I listen. So
That's pretty
that's
cool.
awesome. And don't forget to catch Johnny tomorrow night, as in
I'm definitely
Johnny
going to.
Necro.
I'm definitely going to.
Hell yeah.
And I did that
Uh,
shit for a while. I drew comic book style shit for. Like well, I have a like I couldn't find paper big enough, so I had some 11 by 14 drawing pads. And I taped a good
nice.
6 of them things together and made it that damn long. And this Deadpool standing there holding the gun in Wolverine's face.
That's
My favorite
awesome.
comic I always loved Spawn by Todd McFarlane.
How
That was
can you
my
not?
and I see
Just
I
the
have
sheer artistry.
that's one there. I have shit to buy Spawn. I drew whichever damn direction it goes there, and that's all.
Dude.
That there. There's this one.
Oh man.
I have a digital one I've done, but Spawn was always just like it's kind of like skulls and roses. I love drawing roses. I have since I was a kid. It was just kind of a thing like for my mom. Like she loved roses, so
Sure.
it was my practice thing. It was my comfort thing. Just scribble roses. And Spawn was that way as I got older. I just scribble Spawn on every damn thing. It just
Something about it, man. And why not, be drawing a bunch of, a demon constantly. I mean, that's just fun.
I think
But Spawn was special.
that type of shit I do now. I don't even know what it's called. I call it's like rocks, boulders. It has like the horns and eyes and all that shit come out. When I taught
Mhm.
myself how to draw Spawn's cape, because it had that massive cape that just flowed everywhere,
Massive with so
and
many lines and detail.
I still use that in my head when I'm drawing that. I'll start off drawing this like that cape. Well, hell, there should be a horn here, or an eyeball here, or something
Yeah,
like that. And that's what I just do now. And this, I think
absolutely.
that's really where it started from.
Amazing. And what better inspiration, just it's always been, that's why I love the animated series
Yeah, it
so
was
much.
that animated series was so much, but I love the movie from the 90s. I mean, because
They
it was
tried.
it was 90s CGI. You wasn't going to go very damn far with it at all. But the animated series actually kicks Bones like character into overdrive as a series,
Yes,
and it
absolutely.
was so damn graphic and gory that when he
It's the
pops
way it
in,
was meant to be.
I mean, and people don't realize that Spawn was never supposed to have been a kid's comic in the first damn place,
Nope.
and
Gotta love Warner Brothers.
exactly. And when he pops that coffin up, when in the animated series, when he first realizes he's dead, and he pops his own coffin open, and his corpse grabs him. That's when you know.
This ain't for the faint of heart.
No.
Let's see. Kyler says, cookies. Uh, Any Hoozle. Jody Gray, hey, thank you for joining the broadcast. Says Cody has been a great artist since he was young. He painted skulls and graveyards on the tailgate of my old F-150. Now
That's my dad. That's my
that's
dad.
dedication right there.
He's kind of the one that got me started drawing. Like he always then it was just like I said, growing up here, I didn't have an outlet. Like
Right.
I didn't. Everybody I was friends with was either getting their ass in trouble or they was doing drugs or some shit. And art and cars just came my outlet. You know, like
Nice.
Jesse James, like Ed Roth, and all of those guys, Rat Fink style shit. That's just kind of blended all together. Then my love for metal music, and it just kind of went on from there.
Hell yeah, man. Let's see here. We're actually going to show a couple of creations as we go through. Of course, I'm going to ask a little bit about each one.
That's cool.
Let's see here. So one of my personal favorites is this guy.
Man, that
Just
I
an
have
amazing skull.
one of my favorite artists that he does a lot of this style. His name's Mark Riddick. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's one of him and Saw Blade 666 are two of my favorite artists in this style. And that's when I'm drawing that type. That's where I kind of try to pull some creativeness from. If I have an idea and I know I'll need like this shape here or a bone here, or like I don't even know what to call the stuff it drips from. And I call it snot, but it's that I'll look at that, like I'll glance at theirs, like, hey, that should I can take that and put my ideas with it and makes it, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of how some things happen. That's what happened with that. It just come out of nowhere. I just started sketching. I sketched a fat ass head and just started and just did my thing with it.
I don't know. My favorite features of it, I gotta say, is like I love like the saliva that's you can see kind of dripping from the teeth. Really kind of lets you, kind of like feel like it's very lifelike. The ears are detailed heavily. The missing nose, like you really can kind of see the skull feature at that point. Very
to me,
terrible.
that's the thing. That's like when to me drawing stuff that has it's decaying. And you know when typically when a body decays, shit like that's the first thing that's gonna go because it's just it's just
the old
flesh.
schnozola.
It's just like fingertips or like tips of ears or like your nose. It's just flesh. It's nothing there that's gonna keep. So with it sinking that in, sinking the mouth in, ripping the ears off or something like that, it just adds to that.
Gives the flavor.
Yeah, gives it that. You can smell that this is rotten. It smells like a damn dead carcass in the middle of summer.
I was going to say, even for like indie horror, that would make a fantastic mask. It'd be really, really cool to kind of see, which is, I'm going to probably say it more than once as we are looking at more of these.
If Tom Savini could take that and make a fucking mask out of it, I would be happy as hell.
Well, shit. Joe Castro, the FX master himself of the indie horror, that guy makes things happen with like the smallest amounts of shit,
And the guy that you interviewed here,
bring that to life.
The guy you interviewed here not too long ago, that's in the Bigfoot band.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his damn name now, but he'd probably be.
I'm feeling real bad about it.
What is bad is I added him as a friend on Facebook, and hell, I can't even remember his name.
Oh my goodness. See, senior moments can hit at any age, people.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is how I have it in my portfolio. This is how I start. It's kind of glary, but
I can see it.
It'll start off like that, and then I'll just sketch crazy shapes or anything like that. Just make them organic, I guess you can say, and just anything.
Yeah, that's where the magic starts.
If you have like the right shadows, and if you add shadows to it, then shadow gives something depth. And now it's like I love tattoo art when I was a kid. My dad would buy me tattoo magazines, and that's another thing I always like, which I'm covered in tattoos. And when I was getting one of my sleeve done, me and my artist had a long talk about this shit. People that get the type tattoos that they don't use that black outline,
Yep.
in 10 years, you're not going to be able to tell what that shit is because it's going to fade together. Your
Exactly that.
skin's going to sag. And that's one thing that's always stuck in my head. And art has to have a fat black outline so you can see what the hell is there. And it's just,
No, you are absolutely right. That's a true artist when you sit there and you tell the artist, "This is how I want you to do it."
yeah. See, he's not that type. He's just straightforward. And when you get done getting tattooed, you feel like you got tattooed by Rambo. He's heavy handed as hell, man.
Oh, scar tissue city. I know a little
It's,
something about that.
my
My
knuckles was
my
the worst.
gargoyle was
Oh yeah.
very, very heavy handed. And if my skin gets warm, you feel that shit. Like
I
it's
got
there.
both of my hands are done, and the webbing between my knuckles and on my top, right there on the point of my
Mm,
knuckle, was the worst spot.
mm.
And he bleeds in thick black outlines, so it's going to be there with that liner needle.
Yep. I cheated. I just went over the knuckles, not into the webbing. Jeffrey Sisson is the
Yeah,
gentleman. Yep.
I thought it was Jeffrey, but I couldn't remember his last name, and I didn't want to say it and get it wrong.
Let's see here. A couple things from out here. Kyler says, I met Keith David. He loved playing Spawn. And Mousebong says, Mark Riddick is a badass. And you are correct,
He
miss.
really is. Like I love the guy. I know his name. Is another one I'm struggling with. He did he used to paint for Man of War.
Oh shit. Okay. I know
He painted
exactly what you're talking about.
Man of War. He did Kiss His Love Gun
Mm-hmm.
and Destroyer. And I know his name, and I cannot think of it. I love his style art too. It's just I'll go based off other artists. It's just how I feel. And during the day, if I want to look at like Mark Riddick, and I'll sit there and I'll scroll through shit for hours before
Oh
I
yeah.
even start drawing. And then sometimes I'll just sit down and start scribbling. Whatever the hell happens. It's just, and that's how I am with it. It's just I could be laying in bed, driving down the road, be at work, and it was popping in my head. Well, I'm gonna try this, and it just
Mm-hmm.
snowballed, man.
Absolutely. And I think this kind of goes along with Mousebong's question for you. She says, what's some of your favorite album art?
Like I
Probably
said,
Kiss Dynasty is one of them, right?
nah, not Dynasty. I
Not
don't.
Dynasty.
I didn't like the disco effect in Dynasty, but I don't. I loved Kiss. I
I
always
feel
loved
that.
I loved all their outfits until Dynasty. When
Mm.
they used to put that big blue cape on and purple, they just kind of threw it off. But album art wise, I love Holy Diver.
Oh man.
What's the other
Woo!
one? It's Dream Evil by the Dio,
Mm-hmm.
who has the little demon sitting on him. That one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which Love Gun is my favorite album from cover from Kiss. I don't know. It's just it had that Destroyer had lives up to the name Destroyer, but
Yes.
Love Gun they just had that typical. They're bigger than a human, I guess you could say. They're more than, and that is what kind of drew me into
What's up,
it. It gave me
Tristan?
that. It's one of my best friends right there.
How about some of the Iron Maiden covers?
Yeah, Life After Death is my favorite Iron Maiden cover. Eddie's busting out of the grave and has the lightning bolts. I actually have. There's this place back in the day. My mom would order CDs from. It's called BMG Music, and they used to
Oh yeah.
send like a little. They used to send a little pamphlet in the mail, man. And the
I
pictures in it.
remember that.
Pictures were so damn small you could barely tell what you was getting. And she ordered me the figure of Iron Maiden's Life After Death, and I've had
Nice.
that thing ever since. And that's always been my favorite album cover. Uh, I'm going blank on some of them right now, but I love Obituaries. Shit, he's got this got
Slowly be right.
that's one of them. Then the other one is just a torso. It's
Oh, yep.
it's off their
I know which one you're
kind of
talking
their
about.
newer age shit. But my cover for Morgrot was kind of heavily influenced by that album cover.
And I think, I hope that I have the one that was on the cover. This should be it. Yep.
That's it. Yeah, that torso there was straight from the idea from that, and I just kind of put my own flavor to it, I guess you could say.
It's I love the ominous, like, souls around it, the different skulls and heads, and
What
and I mean his wings
it
are
got
ripping it
cut
off.
off. It got cut off for the magazine, but because I draw on 11 by 17
Yeah,
paper because everything I do is fucking gigantic. I can't draw small shit for nothing. But
that's
there's
okay.
actually a hand that's reaching down and comes
Ah,
down. That got
that's
cut
the
off, and
missing
there was some
piece.
more. But yeah, that was
Nice.
kind of that album cover kind of heavily of influence that I was listening to Obituary when me and John was talking about me doing it. And I was just flipping through like a playlist of their shit, and it popped up, and I just started sketching, and that's what it become.
Okay. The latest Dying Fetus cover, I think is not
God,
not as far as an epic, but somebody
yeah,
drew that, though, and it's just so lifelike. It's really interesting to see where some newer artists are doing these days,
I
because
bought that
obviously
record. I
that
actually
had
bought
to
it.
be. Did you?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it
Yeah,
was
that
like,
had to be like done on paper first.
yeah, I listened to it like I was drawing one day. I was sitting here drawing, and it popped up, and this was right. They wasn't too long before you did. I think it was one of the Tracks of the Damned when you talked about it. There was like
Probably we did a
the
review of
top
it.
whatever, and I had just listened to it, and then after y'all talked about it on there, and I got to thinking about it, I just screw it. I'm ordering it. I ordered it on vinyl too, so it
Woo!
sounds. Yeah,
Sounds always better.
yeah.
For sure. Uh let's see some more of my favorites. Now this one is really interesting.
I
So I totally get the Egyptian vibe, but it also feels like Beetlejuice. Am
That's
I
about
am I off on that?
a little bit. I don't know. I've had a thing for history with my whole life. I love
Oh
learning
fuck
about
yeah.
history, and besides my Viking heritage that I put a lot of forth on, uh, I
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's always something. I guess like the magic you could say of Egyptian.
Yes.
It always has that. Like I said, magic about it. And
Almost
I'll
like an
watch it.
underworld feel.
Yeah, I'll watch any documentary that deals with the Egyptians. And I was watching one the other night that I found, and I've been wanting to do Anubis forever. And I said, screw
Mm,
it, I'm gonna finally do one, and that's what
got
came
to.
out. I did it in the black and white because black and white's kind of my, like I said, it's kind of my niche, my happy spot.
You
Because
can't go wrong with that.
and then I added the green to it just as because typical Egyptian type was gold and blue. They
Right.
that was on their headdresses and stuff. I thought to myself, I kind of just want to add a glow to it, but I don't want to do your typical blue and stuff like that. So I just added bright green behind it because out of Pirates of the Caribbean, when they say a soul enters back into the world, you see a flash of green.
Yep.
Well, Anubis is the god of the underworld, and he weighed your heart. If your heart weighed more than the feather, then your heart was eaten and you was sent to the underworld. And that's just kind of how my brain just kind of mixed everything together.
No, man, that's fantastic, because I mean I share that as well. I have always been very very much into that. I would love to see you do maybe an Eye of Horus or an Eye
that's
of Ra.
that's definitely. I have a plan to do horse eventually. I want to do the whole. I want to do like a series of gods pictures, and then
That'd
like
be
put them
amazing.
all in a bundle, and just do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been thinking about doing, and it started with that damn documentary. So
Oh hell yeah. Um, and as far as like the Viking heritage goes, yep, we share that. Mine go back to the Germanic tribes mostly, but to the Danes as well.
I did that. One of those websites you can do where you trace your history for free or
Same.
whatever for so like a week or so. I did it, and I went so far back that they stopped putting their names of parents and just put like Norse gods on it. And I was like, yeah, I kind of sealed it. So we're just gonna go from there.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's kind
Let's
of my
see.
plan for my next tattoo. I always keep the sides of my head shaved off right through
Oh
there,
yeah. Hmm.
and I eventually want to get runes tattooed starting there and go down the side of my neck. So
That would be amazeballs.
probably gonna be the worst tattoo I get. And it's probably gonna hurt like hell. So 'cause my artist, he's like lethal with that shit. He's got a shark tattooed on the side of his head, and it's every bit of that big around. I'm thinking you got more guts than I do. I don't know if I'm gonna go that big. You can put a solid black line through there with some runes in it, but we ain't putting no shading needle there.
Right. Johnny says Sam Hain's November Coming Fire album cover was taken from, well, he took the skull from Marvel.
From Marvel, yeah.
Not
Honestly,
surprised on that.
let me find. I have my art pad here, and this is when you had John Christ on, and I just got to listening
Mm.
like old Danzig albums. You know, Danzig 1 has that big ass skull that's his, and I started sketching this, and I haven't finished it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I think my light died.
Ooh, yeah.
I started using that helmet, the skull, as an idea for the helmet. It's just got a demon floating over a castle and stuff right now.
That's badass, man.
My
Oh,
thing is, most of the time, I'll start drawing something, and my brain will go squirrel, and I'll go off, and I'll have to come back and draw something else. And that's just usually how it is. I'll do 2 or 3 drawings, go back, finish one, and it's a hell of a process.
oh yeah. And Rebecca says when he did that piece, he was listening to an Egyptian band, and I believe at the same time watching the Egyptian history
No
documentary.
shit. Yes, I was, and I was annoying the pit. I was annoying the piss out of her with that band too. It's called like I'll shout them out on it. It's called Riverwood. The name of the song is Dying Light. They're
Oh, okay.
they're an Egyptian metal band, but they do folk metal.
Now
And
see,
take metal. I'm trying to think of take Amon Amarth with their Viking heritage and turn it into Egyptian, pretty much.
nice.
They have that real melodic death metal
Yeah.
to it, and it's just take like Egyptian traditional guitars and put it in but put it on an electric guitar, and that's what it is. And I've listened to that song so damn much, like it gets stuck in my head, and I'll just put it on the plate.
Hell yeah. That's why that the song that Merciful Fate did on the Shadows album, Egypt,
Yeah.
I thought was just such an amazing song, as well as like the Mad Arab, the
Oh,
lore
I've heard
behind the
Egypt.
Necronomicon.
I've heard bits and pieces of Egypt. I don't think I've ever heard it all the way through. When you was talking about it, I was like, shit, I might have to look it up. But there's very few
You
merciful
should
I
give it a
pay.
listen.
I for sure will.
It's a good one. And apparently, when you were talking about getting the runes
Yeah.
like down the side of your head, Tristan gave us a couple of eyes there.
That's one of my best friends, and
Yep.
he needs to find him an apprenticeship and get in the shop and get the tattooing because he's pretty decent at it.
Nice.
He needs an apprenticeship.
Hell yeah. Now we were talking a little bit back about your use of color,
Yeah.
and there's a couple of pieces I want to show now that I feel like the colors just are amazing, so appropriate and warm. Especially this one, it really strikes me very much so emotionally. If I can get it, come on, computer. It's being stupid. There it is.
That was me literally do it like I'm trying to get comfortable with color, and that's what that is. That's me trying to figure out how to take a traditional style of coloring and put it on a computer. And like, kind of me with color on the computer, I feel like it's cheating as a way because
Mm-hmm.
it's something digitally blended instead of it being done traditionally. And I'm trying to trick myself past that and figure out how. But yeah, that's based off the guy. That's an idea of looking through the guy that did the Love Gun covers. He passed away
Oh yeah.
a few years ago, and his website is still active. But I'm trying to find his damn name now. But
I
that's
can
what that
see.
is.
I can see the influence of Spawn's cape in that too.
Yeah,
Um,
that's heavily. Ken Kelly is his name,
yes.
and like I said, his website's still active, and I didn't know it was active. I didn't. I just typed in his name, was looking at art, and I actually went to his website, and it just I just scrolled through there, looking at pictures and looking at how he would blend. It take hell. He did Conan the Barbarian a lot,
Oh yeah.
and the way he'd take that world and make it traditionally, I just tried to do it digitally. And the demon parts of it's just my screwed up brain saying, "Hey, you need a demon floating around here." And it's just,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
oh no,
I actually think if Conan the Barbarian looked like that or had a helmet like that, it would have even punched it home bigger.
yeah.
And the dragon, the scape behind, like he's about to eat that bird for lunch.
And the thing about this shit is, doing digitally, you can draw something this big around, and you can
Yeah.
take it, it's called a selective tool, and you can shrink it. So you can put a
Hmm.
bunch of detail, and when you shrink it, it has all that detail to it. And that's what I did with that. I actually drew a demon, like I outlined a silhouette of a demon, and I shrunk it to put beside a dragon.
Nice. Don't forget out there in Morgrot universe, if you have questions for Cody, shoot them in the comment section. He will answer them for you.
I might be nervous as hell, but I'll answer anything.
You're doing fine. My second example is one that I'm going to literally buy this from you because I feel like I must. Uh, Cody knows, everybody out there in Morgrot universe knows this. Whenever we're talking about horror, Salem's Lot, Mr. Barlow is one
That
of my favorite characters in horror
that
history.
came from one of your one of the shows. I can't remember if it was on here, if it was on Tracks of the Damned or nothing. You just talk about Mr. Barlow, and I said I don't like. To me, people who draw like Jason, Michael Myers, and Freddy,
Mm-hmm.
that's where an artist goes to die. To me, kind of that's kind of like they've done all the creative things they can, and they'll go to do that just to keep, you know what I'm saying, keep going.
Yeah.
If I want to do a horror character, I want to draw something nobody's really done. And I don't remember seeing Mr. Barlow that much. And
Nope.
I
Just Salem's Lot.
started that night. Like, if I'm going to draw a horror character, H.R. Geiger was like a massive artist. He created
Oh,
Xenomorphs.
right.
And I feel like people have played with the alien so damn much that it doesn't have the original thought behind it that he did.
No,
They've
not really.
warped it into something that wasn't what it was. And if I'm a Pumpkinhead is a horror character I want to draw. I've
That
had
would
the
be
thought of
amazing.
I've had the thought of it, and I can do it in my traditional way, like my black and white, the spit, snot, whatever the hell you want to call it, gut, whatever, everywhere. And I've
His
been
secretions.
it's it's like I said, I've been saying snowballing a lot because that's what I feel it is. Something starts as this big around, and it blows up this big around by the time I'm done. But that's an idea I've had popping around too.
That would be incredible. I actually just recently watched two more of that series. There's a third and fourth film, and it's pretty awesome. And if you have Tubi,
Yeah.
you can watch both of them, and they're really fucking good. I was surprised, really
We watched
surprised.
I put it. I don't remember if I put it on my page or not. It was just some random shit I did. It was around like Yule last year, and
Mm-hmm.
We ended up watching a movie called Violent Night, and this is one of them fucked up.
Yep.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Because Santa was a Viking, damn it.
Yeah, but
It's
most people don't
true.
know that. Most people don't know that Santa is Odin,
Yep.
and the eight reindeer represent the eight legs of Sleipnir. They don't really realize that. But anyways, I drew a
Uh,
damn. I drew an elf.
they will.
That's
Wow.
my version of an elf, I guess you could say.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'll come up with some off the wall shit, and I'll tell Rebecca, I'm like, you think I should do it? And she's that quiet type. She's like, I don't know. It's your art. Do what you want. And then I'll just start drawing.
No, seriously. I much prefer that um over the motherfucking elf on a shelf and every other fucking elf that has ever been. I want my elves to be terrifying.
Man, I've seen
Especially
so much
around
shit with that elf on
Yuletide.
the shelf. I've seen one where what's the planet where they have where he crawls inside the figure on the horse like thing on Star Wars to stay warm. What the hell's the name of it?
Ah,
I seen somebody took their freezer and made it look like that and had that elf on the shelf frozen upside down with Star Wars figures and all kinds of shit.
one of my favorites was somebody took two figures, one figure being the elf on a shelf, the other one being Jason Voorhees. And in this meme, and it's just fucking phenomenal. I still have it. Jason is holding him by his leg and about to dunk him into boiling water on a stove.
That'd be pretty awesome. Like,
So as a drawing, that would be even more amazing. And
yeah,
I totally get what you're saying there about drawing, icons like Michael or
I don't.
some
I
some of
think
the other characters.
I don't know if I made it a little bit too harsh saying like where artists go to die. I just feel it's even in
Well,
metal,
it's
man.
been
Like
done before.
it's like I went to Nashville and I seen there's Lorna Shore, of Sulphur, Aborted,
Mm,
and Angel Maker. And Aborted come out, and I had high expectations for them, like really high. And they have like intermittent breaks in between each
yeah.
band where the bands get their whole intro was Jason's mom's talking, and it felt so boring because it's been done so damn much. And their stage, they had like big cases that had like, I mean, something I draw. It had guts and stuff, but just adding that Jason effect to it kind of just killed the whole damn thing for me. I love Jason. I love the movies. That's not what I'm saying. Just
Right.
as an artist
Well,
aspect, it's been played out so damn much.
the hockey mask is such,
It's an
I don't know,
iconic
it's
thing.
so ingrained in culture that so many people just kind of like, I don't know, gravitate towards it. I mean, I get it, but there's so many other original nightmarish things that I think that you could be creating. You know what I mean?
Like most people don't like it, but I love Rob Zombie's Halloween's. I feel like he took it and made it like a little bit more. He added a little bit. I don't know if you can make Michael Myers any darker than he was, but actually showing him in that mental facility, sitting there with all them masks being made, it just gave it a more lifelike,
Artistic feel.
artistic or lifelike feel. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
most people dock on them movies, but I loved them. But
Artistically, there are moments in those versions of the films that I really do like.
yeah,
Um,
I think that's my thing too. Is that he took that? I guess he took a more fucked up brain and added it to it. I guess you could say. 'Cause
yeah,
he's got some off the wall shit. But
for sure. There was
yeah,
some stuff there that I felt like it didn't belong, and then there was stuff like I was like, okay, I could see that being cooler.
yeah, yeah,
Because when you think of the 70s, anything terrible was like swiped under the rug,
Yep.
as far as things that would happen in places like that. But generally, like I said, I don't have a problem with him. It's just I don't know. He was so much taller, seemed a
Yeah.
little too
That made him
unreal
a little bit
in
bigger,
certain.
but that some bitch that played him was huge, man.
Oh, dude. If we ever meet that guy at a con somewhere, I'm gonna feel like a fucking dwarf.
Dude, I'm 6'3", 345 pounds. I don't like people bigger than me. It makes
Right.
me uncomfortable.
I'm
If
six
I have to
two.
look up at somebody, I'm not comfortable. It's like
It's like, holy shit. I
the
don't want to
guy
be
that
looking up.
the guy that originally played Chewbacca, the original Chewbacca. I'd had a
Yep.
hard time with that.
Yeah. That dude was freakishly tall, man. Holy crap balls. Great actor though.
Yeah, to pull that off. I mean, to take and not, you don't have no voice. You just got to use your emotions and everything else like that, and create a character. Yeah, hell yeah, he was amazing at it.
Absolutely. One of the things that I find really kind of amazing about your process is how music and I would I be able to say horror does kind of like come up into it,
Yeah,
as well as the occult.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, I grew up. I'm not. This is the person I was as a kid and the person I am now is
Mm-hmm.
like two different people. And it is. You
Makes
change as you
sense.
get older. I grew
Sure.
up and I grew up and I mean hell, I went to church as a kid and I didn't feel like I belonged there. And like I don't know how to really explain it is I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't understand it. I didn't really understand it. I just didn't understand what everything was about. And the older I got more into occult and horror things, and that's where I felt like I was at home and I belonged. And that's just how it's been ever since. And occult, horror, music, all that kind of spirals into everything.
I think it really inspires in so many different ways. Not the fact that they're horrific creations per se, but because they're out of the norm, they're more exciting.
This
Um,
is when I was a kid, late at night, there wasn't shit on TV, and Bob Ross was always on there, and that's just an artist that I could,
yep.
and I would fall asleep listening to Bob Ross, but him being so damn what
Monotone.
monotone was like fucking chaos to my brain. You know what I'm saying? And Rebecca's the same way; she feels the same way, and it's just like, how is this man this monotoned? But that's how it is now. Everything chaotic. Like that's the reason I listen to metal so much. It kind of, I guess you could say, the chaos from it kind of mellows me out, and
Yeah,
it
sure.
lets me create shit. And that's if I'm drawing, I have this monitor. I have a monitor here and a monitor there. This one is always on YouTube when I'm drawing,
Right.
and I just click. It'll start with anything. You start with like Celtic Frost, and it'll go from that to In Flames, Cradle of Filth, any Death, Typo Negative, to even the newer bands like Oh Sulfur, Lorna Shore, just things like that. And I don't know if a collective metalhead is a word, but that's kind of what I feel like. I don't want. I
I
love
view
all types.
myself the same.
I love all types of metal. I don't really want to just draw in on say death, black. I enjoy all of it, and that's kind of my creative thing. It's just I'll put how I feel that day is what type I'll put on, and then
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
yourself being a metalhead, you could be in the shittiest mood, and you go on some of the darkest, heaviest shit you can find. You get into that, and then one song can come on, and it'll totally flip everything. And that's how
Most
I am.
definitely.
That's how I am when I'm drawing. It's like I'll be drawing this, and I'll have this feeling. Well, if that feeling fades, I'll start something totally different.
Oh yeah.
And just that's the reason I have so much shit that I haven't finished.
That's okay. That's kind of the nice thing about it, though, because you can always revisit
Yeah,
any of those unfinished pieces, and be able to add something new to it, a new perspective sometimes. And then you end up getting, a piece that is multi-dimensional.
That's how
And
that.
that's one of the things I want to commend you on, is because I feel like a lot of your pieces are not just like one theme or anything like that. It's like a collective of different
Yeah,
emotions.
that's what like. I don't. I always grew up, and like I said, when I got into the cult shit, I was always fascinated with like the death aspect of everything. That sounds
Mm.
really serial killerish, but that's not what it is. uh,
No. Any
and like,
psychiatrist would probably tell you that,
yeah,
any kind of fascination with death, not the how or the why, but just the aspect of the lights going out is very, very normal.
and that's the thing.
You'd
I
be
believe,
amazed.
like, I'm the type of person, I believe, and well, hell, I know it. There's something after that when we're out of this vessel or whatever. There's
Right.
something there. Do I believe it's somebody that was nailed to a tree with some rusty nails? No, that's not what I believe is there. I believe there's something, but it's a
Right.
zombie. It's a zombie on a stick. What's more
Mhm.
metal than that? But anyways, but yeah, that's my thing. Like in the like skulls are like the epitome of death to me. It's just
Sure.
depends on what state of, I guess, decay it's in. If it's still got maggots and shit crawling in there, if it's just a bone that's there that's been bleached by the sun for 100 years. It's just
It adds
that's
so many
but
dimensions.
yeah, because if something that's been decaying, you're gonna have maggots crawling, you're gonna have guts and stickiness,
Right.
and when after all that process and that skull is there, it's gonna weather, it's gonna start to crack, it's gonna have divots in it, it's gonna have the elements taken. And that's what I look at when I'm drawing. I'll draw a skull, there'll be a million little black marks on it, shapes and everything, but to me that's what is weathering. It's just a weathered fact on it. And I've always had that fascination with shit like that. And it kind of goes into cars too, like even car things. I love rusty ass old cars. I love rat
Uh,
rods and shit
so
like
then
that.
you Yeah, so you probably really dug that one picture I brought up on the goddamn program one night. They had like three swords in its head.
Yeah,
And what really kind of drew me to that photo in the first place was, damn, what a story. Like, it almost tells you a story of what happened to that person. Like, he
yeah,
was just somebody that was so bad that they shoved three full-on broadswords into his skull and buried him as he was standing.
yeah. That's like I think it's in I can't remember if it's in like Romania that I seen that they found it, or if it's
Mm.
somewhere that's real thick in like the lore of vampires. And like
Oh
they
yeah.
found they was excavating somebody's shit, and it had like it was flat across the top and had two parts that went down, and they actually made
Mm.
a blade on that thing and put it across the throat of the corpse, where if it raised up, it
Yep.
and shit like that's fascinating to think about how people back then was scared of their own damn shadow. But I
Or does
love
it
the
give a little credence to the lore? Maybe,
yeah, I love lore shit like that, and I think that's the reason I was so drawn to Egyptian shit.
Oh yeah.
The scarab beetle eating inside your skin, or mummies coming back to life, Anubis, and I think it's isn't it Beset that's the alligator headed out
Oh,
god.
Bastet is
Yeah,
the cat god.
she's the cat, but the alligator one, like I said earlier, when Anubis waves to your heart against a feather,
Yeah.
the that one would eat your heart and you sent to underworld. I love that shit. And it's just it's
It's
that's
fascinating.
yeah, that's stuff that plays in my head when I'm drawing, and it'll be just some random shit. I'll create something out of randomness. That's 99% of the time how it goes.
And that makes some of the best art ever. We got one question for you here. Mousebong says, "What would be your dream project?"
I'd love to draw something. I'd love to do a pencils to something and have Mark Riddick do the inks over it. I'd love for that to happen.
Ooh, yeah.
Him, Sawblade 666 is another artist I like. I'd love that's one of the main two things I'd love to do as an art thing. Is I'd love to get in contact with Mark Riddick. I don't even if I could just sit and talk to him for a little while, I'd be like, hey, I've always been fascinated by your shit. Just I don't want you to tell me your secrets. Can you give me an idea of how I can take my shit and make it better?
Right.
And that's my main thing right there.
And that's an excellent goal to have, man. So it's definitely shameless plug time. So where can they find you? I've been subliminally blasting
That
the Morgrot universe with your Facebook, Defiler of the Crown Art.
right now,
Um,
that's my main. That's all where everything's at. I don't have like Instagram or none of those yet. Right now, I don't. I'm not too sure if I'll make Instagram, but uh, my
it's worth
mainly
it.
just
You end up reaching people even more. It's
it's
really
a thought. It's just I have to play with it a little bit more. I'm not. I'm 31, but I'm still young. But I'm not the most technologically advanced person there is. Facebook's my thing. I
no
know
worries
that
on
shit.
that.
But right now it's mainly on just on Facebook. What he's got across there is that's my main page. That's where everything's at. That's where I'll be posting 98% of the time. I'm working on the idea of creating a YouTube page, and I'm thinking about doing like videos, just short videos along with while I draw. I don't know if I'll do live ones, but I may pre-record as I'm drawing and post those up and stuff like that.
Hell
That's my
yeah.
main thing.
Now, can people out there commission
Yeah.
some art from you? So how about you let them know how that works?
It's just get a hold of me on Facebook. We'll just talk from there. That's my main, like I said, that's my main source. If I don't check it, my fiance she has access to it, and if she sees it before I do, she'll let me know, and then I'll have her message you, or I will myself.
Awesome.
Yep.
And you're open to obviously doing band CD covers, album
That
covers.
yeah, that's the besides the Mark Riddick, that's where I really want to be. I want to be in like feel home in the underground, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Nothing
And
wrong with that because let me tell
that's
you, I see some underground band covers that just fucking suck.
I I had the goal at one point. Yeah, I would have loved to went draw for some of the mainstream bands, but that was just a that was just a pipe dream, I guess you could say. Once John reached out and I started doing what I'm doing now, and I got more in touch with John and with you, this underground feels like that's where I belong. Is in the underground.
Well, that's why I always say the true art, the best art is in the underground on every form of media,
Yeah.
music, physical art, as well as movies, you name it, sideshow performers,
Yep.
content creators, all that shit. The best is here.
It's
You
more
know,
of a
and none of us
family
care
here.
about being celebrities. That's the best part.
That's the thing. Like like I said, I've met a couple of like I guess you say mainstream like deathcore bands now, and you don't have that interaction as you do going to like underground. Everybody that's in the underground, they're gonna come out, they're gonna talk with you, you're gonna have that experience, especially like at Tennessee Metal Fest. Every band that's there, you can go talk to them, you shoot shit with them, you can buy with them, you can
No,
understand them, and that's just what I think. That's what I love about it so much. It's
it's
like
a
it's
big
one big
family.
family.
Very, yes, very extended family. Because I'll tell you, when, just my experience with Gene Hoglan, I had to go, nothing against Gene, of course,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's big and there's a reason for it because he's been underground for 30 years, people. But I had to go through like 4 or 5 different people that are part of that whole camp just to You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
what's great about underground artists is, if they have a manager, that's one thing. You go through them, but you don't have to take all them steps to say, hey, I like your shit.
I don't. I don't. But if it gets to that point, I don't. I don't ever want like a manager per se. Like I just want. I want to be in control of my own shit.
You have to.
And if anything, I've become good friends with you and John, and being under that Morgrat name is kind of really meaningful to me. It means a lot, and I think I'll forever want to be under that name with some things. But yeah, I don't want that. I don't want nobody to handle my shit other than me, or like I said, my fiance or something like that.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be.
Because I've seen guys, watched about guys. Well, the time you start here and you get to here, you've lost every damn right to everything you own. So,
Oh, no, you definitely don't want to do that. And speaking of, Rebecca says, you still have a few t-shirts available and working on prints for sale as well. So you know where to go, everybody out there in Morgrat land, that we appreciate you giving such a wonderful show out for this evening. To reach Cody, and if you have an original idea, this man will knock it out of the park. I made a joke, and he came up with one of the sickest killer t-shirt ideas I could have ever imagined having done. As well as, I'm a big fan of canvas prints. He's got those. There's nothing like that canvas feeling, and when you put it in your home, you're proud of it for a reason. Your art is
John
amazing.
actually, John from Morgrat, he actually had me do a painting for him, and I did it. I sketched it, and that whole print was Posca. If you've ever seen them, they're Posca pens. They're made for doing graffiti. I used those and made the whole painting out of it on a canvas.
Amazing. So there it is. You want something, you're a fan of art, especially dark art like we are, get in touch with him. Please do. All right. So before we close out, let me see. I got one more comment here. Rebecca says, this is funny. Hey, Reaper, ask Cody about his piece he is working on.
Oh,
yours truly?
I almost forgot. I might have to move the camera over, but let me get it up. So I drew you as I did the devil head. Yeah, you had the horns.
Okay.
So I kind of added to that and giving you the full blown.
Oh, shit balls! Look at that.
I guess you could say corpse body, horns. I'll have some all kinds of other shit behind it too, but yeah, that's the one I was talking about earlier. I had a surprise, and that was it.
Oh man, warms my cold black heart.
Yeah, like Morgan.
I am truly touched, man. That's fucking amazing.
When John sending that me sending that message to John kind of snowballed a lot of shit. Like I'm writing interviews for Morgrat too now. I'm writing band interviews. I just wrote
Ooh, that's cool.
I just wrote one for Milo Silvestro, the new lead singer of Fear Factory. Wrote one for a band called yeah. Got a band from Arkansas called Pantheon. These are some
I've heard of them.
They have a song called "Head on a Stick," and I think if you hear that song, you're gonna fucking love it. But the main thing I did is I did it on my own. There's a guy. He's a UK author. He's an author based in like England, and his name's Dial Patterson. He has a whole site called Cult Never Dies, and he's interviewed Merciful Fate, Venom, Cradle of Filth, Celtic Frost, Mordock, all that type shit. And I wrote an interview and just as a whim and sent it to him, and he actually accepted it, and he sent it back. It's gonna be in this next issue. So if y'all have ever heard of him, he's massive in the damn black metal world. The interview I did with him is going to be in this next issue of Morgrat. So that's kind of a little plug for y'all. But that's the main thing I'm working on is art and interviews right now. So
fantastic. Good to see you branching out. and we're actually going to be hitting a horror con
That shit's gonna
coming
be
up,
insane, man. That's gonna be. You ever been to
representing.
Nashville?
Hell yeah!
Have you ever
Uh,
been to Nashville?
oh yeah, I've
No.
toured. I've toured Nashville a few times. It's been a few years, but one of my fondest memories is when we pulled into the city.
Yeah.
There's a truck pulling these, we'll just say, scantily clad ladies on a whiskey tour. And
What the hell?
my son at the time was in my band when we rolled into town. And I say, hey, son, look out the window. There's these, they got fucking, whiskey glasses in their hands. They're drinking, having a good time. It's like, 100 degrees out, in the summertime. And I was just like, oh, I love this place.
Where I looked in the convention we're going to do, it's outside the city a little bit, so it's going to be pretty
Right.
wild.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be a blast. So definitely have that to look forward to. I believe this July, and just to let everybody out there know that you've heard it or seen it. Actually, no, you haven't heard it, but you've seen it posted on all my socials. That it is official that Attack of the Corn Zombies is getting a part 2.
Hell yeah.
And all of us zombies that worked on it that didn't get killed off, I'm pretty sure we get to come back. I mean, shit, everybody can come back as far as I'm concerned. But I'm real excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing my zombie family out there. Paul, you're included, sir. That's right. Cody knows what's up. He's got his signed copy right there. So that's really exciting. I'm doing another horror film in which I play a faceless cop, which I really dig. The captain, actually, appropriately titled because, Captain Spaulding, Sid Haig is one of my biggest all-time actor influences.
That man was amazing.
Oh my goodness. My only wish is that I wish I could have met him at a con.
Yeah.
But so it's called Grinners, and that's from Refinery Films. So I'll be doing that in June, and then shooting for Return of the Corn Zombies in September. So got a couple of films coming out this year. We're going to be making some convention, obviously, appearances as well. And real quick here, I got yep, that's right. No, don't worry, Paul. You can be resurrected. You know you can. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact. So don't worry about that. But join us tomorrow night, because guess what? What did I do with it? Oh my goodness. There we go. It's a double shot week. That's right. Tomorrow night, we have Johnny motherfucking Necro coming to the underground for the first time. So definitely don't forget to tune in for that as well. And we thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Just an amazing interview. I was so glad because, I reached out to Cody last week and I was like, dude, it's time. I'm just watching him knock.
I didn't know what to think. I sat there and I looked at Rebecca and I went, holy shit. And she's like, what?
Like, no, it's my time.
I didn't know what to say, man. I said, come here. I said, you gotta look at this. I showed her my phone. She was like, do it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. But you got to let me get my nerves up a little bit first. Hell.
Oh man, true story. I remember when I was doing my very first show, my very first Reapers Underground. Like, I've been on stage, the drummer. I've done promo videos for bands that I've been in and stuff like that. That's my comfort zone. But I was like, the whole time in the back of my head, I'm thinking to myself, who wants to fucking see this? Who wants to listen to me yak? With guests and stuff. So I'm just like, well, shit, I don't know. So I interviewed a band called Sensation. And I'll tell you, after I got about 10 minutes in, I was like, I can do this.
I
So, I mean, like I said, I just saw art piece after art piece come out. The stuff you're making, man, it's multimedia platform, in my opinion.
like
You can, do so much with your art. Graphic novels. I can see, horror movie posters, designing, like that one, Beastie Skull guy. That could be a mask. I could see you doing art for just about everything in the Dark Underground.
in
And
my portfolio has the pencils where I did Circle of Nine's logo is still in there. Like it's
that's
still
right.
it's just the pencils. There's no color. I did all the other stuff digitally. I took a picture, sent it, and did it. But the pencils to it are still in there.
That's right. If you go to my band's Facebook at the moment, Circle of Nine, you can see the awesome logo that he did, and we have a surprise T-shirt coming up too, that you all will get to see. It's another one of Cody's great pieces that I was just like, oh, okay, that band passed on it. Mine now. I'm
Man,
like, you guys are damn fools.
that was the band I went there to see too. That was
Right,
the
right.
highlight of it. But I still love them. I still think their shit's
Well,
amazing. That
sure,
like yeah, but
absolutely. But you snooze, you lose. That's the way I look at it. But
but
and as far as that Addicts of the Damned shirt, that is going to be added to our Teespring for you guys. Hopefully, I want to say in about a week, for you to purchase. As we are starving our artists, as you will, any little bit of support helps us do what we do and do things on a grander scale. And it helps literally everybody in Morgue Rot Entertainment. And we really appreciate the fact that Cody was able to take a small idea and turn it into the best thing I've ever seen. And then after seeing what he's working on, another creation of my likeness, I am truly touched, and it's so amazing.
I've been working
Go.
on that for a minute. I just like I
Mm,
don't. It's one of them I don't want to rush. I want to make it the best I can make it,
I
and
feel that.
I'm doing it all digitally. And like I said, it's a new platform, so I'm working on ways of how I want to create things. I do on a pencil and paper is there, so it'll get there. Yeah, I promise you, it'll be done. But
Oh, dude, I'm not even worried about that, man. No worries at all. In my opinion, everything I always say this: you can't rush perfection, and that's just true. Because if you do, you might have missed something, and that's how I feel about the music that I create. Same thing.
art and music are
Sometimes it
a
takes
lot
more than
alike.
one take. Yep, we are our own worst enemies, and that's actually not a bad thing. It's as long as
Man,
we don't overthink it.
if I go back and tell my younger self, like it's you're still learning. Like hell, I'm 31. I'm still learning now. I go back and tell myself, don't throw shit away. Put it up. Start to work on it again one day. And that's what
Yep.
if I ever have the chance to talk to like young artists or something, and if I ever get to that point, so I'm gonna tell them, man, you're just starting. Just keep pushing yourself, and you'll get there one day. I never thought I'd be here. I thought I was just gonna be a kid that grew up in a bumfucked ass town and not done shit. But
Well, we look forward to so many of the great creations that you're going to be coming up with.
thank y'all, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to hang out here in the underground with us, even though you're always hanging out with us every Monday, Saturday,
I look forward
whenever
to that.
whenever we're on.
And most of the time when y'all are on, I've had like a lousy ass day at work, and that's kind of my wind down thing at night. So
Well, I tell you what, I've always said if I can make somebody's day by either saying something outrageously stupid or made you laugh in some way, I feel like I'm doing a good service to all the demons out there that
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
hold so close to my heart. And Rebecca says, so proud of you. Put yourself out there.
I
Just
did.
not on the corner. Just not on the corner. Not
Oh no,
unless
hell,
you
not
have
especially
set
not.
prices.
I ain't standing on no corner in this town. I promise.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's just one. It's one of them things. You know, it'll always be home, but it ain't the home you grew up in.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh man. So again, go to facebook.com, Defiler of the Crown Art, and get you some quality handmade art from Cody there. You're
I
not going to regret it.
There's the
There's
shirt
the
itself.
t-shirts.
There, I think I have large to 3X, and I
I'm
want to shout out.
claiming one of those.
Yeah, like I said, I'll have it bagged up here, and like I plan on doing it tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be like my get shit done day, so I'll have it bagged up tomorrow. But at Fire Media Design in Memphis, Tennessee, if y'all are around this area, the guy that runs it, Jamie, made those shirts, and he's killer to work with. So if y'all are around this area, they have a site, y'all could order stuff from him. He's really down to earth. He's a metalhead like the rest of us, so
Hell yeah.
he's somebody to check out with that shit. So
Yet we're always busy opening portals, right?
fuck it. The fact that we was at that festival last year and it started at what, like damn near, it was around noon, and
Yep.
seeing all those older people across the street listening to those bands, I couldn't help but laugh my ass off because I knew half of them was thinking like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I can even remember asking Zach, I'm like, well, can I take a selfie with them at least?
But the main thing is like nothing become of it. It was successful, and they get to do it again this year.
Hell yeah.
And John that created Morgrod, hell, he just did the art for it this year. So
Hell yeah. And it looks fucking beautiful.
the fact that it has that Silence of the Lambs cover feel to it is so fucking amazing, man.
Can't beat it. And looks like Jody says, me and Ma are proud of you. That is awesome. Appreciate y'all, tuning in to show support for Cody. Like I said, you know what to do. Check him out. Send him a message. Get something he's already done, or if you got some great twisted ideas as well, shit, he'll bring it to life. For sure.
Everything
all right.
better than guts hanging out, so
That's right. So definitely don't forget, join us tomorrow night as Johnny Necro comes to the Underground for shot number 2 of Reaper's Underground. And as you are laying it down for the evening, and you have visions of Cody's nightmarish, wonderful, beautiful creatures dancing in your head, the thing you must always do is stay heavy.